All right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Today is Wednesday, August 7th, and it was Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Yankees and the Angels under the raindrops at Yankee Stadium. Luis Gil was on the mound looking for win number 12. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
New York City.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yankees get back on the field and back in the win column. When they woke up this morning, they were in first place by a half game. They now lead the American League East by a game with a chance to extend it later if the Orioles can lose and if the Yankees do indeed play Game 2. Weather not looking good. It is not looking good. I'll be surprised if they actually play Game 2, which is scheduled to be on Amazon Prime. But a somewhat stress-free game. Yankees win 5-2. Oswaldo went deep. Austin Wells continues to have impressive at-bats. He's got the OPS over 760 now at 763. So he's really coming around with the bat after a very slow start to the season. Alex Verdugo, when he's right, is a doubles machine. And today, he was right. He had a couple of doubles. He smoked one to left center field to lead off the game. He also got robbed of a third double down the right field line. But Luis Gil picks up win number 12. Talk about him more in a second. Judge, with another big day. Good at-bats from Ben Rice to work a couple of walks. Jazz Chisholm had a rough day. He struck out 4 times. Golden Sombrero had a big home run from Oswaldo Cabrera, who continues to swing the bat very, very well. Funny story. I've got a friend staying with me at my house for the next few weeks. He's getting ready to move into a new place and kind of in between spots. And he's not really that into baseball. I mean, honestly, he's not into baseball at all. He's an unbelievably good fighting game player. And by osmosis, he has kind of had to absorb all of this baseball talk and Yankees stuff that's going on, all these games. And to his credit, today, in the bottom of the 8th inning, when they showed Clay Holmes warming up in the bullpen, he reactively and instinctively said, "Oh, cardiac Clay." So he's only been here for a few weeks, and he already understands to be ready to call 911 for me when Clay Holmes is in the game. Luis Gil, pretty solid game. He was battling the raindrops. He had 5 walks, but he also had 6 strikeouts, did not allow any runs. I thought Paul O'Neill had a really good point when he said, it looks like he's kind of learned how to pitch over the course of this year. When his command is less than ideal or the conditions are less than ideal, he finds a way to get it done. It has not always been like that for Luis Gil. There are times when his command would just get away from him and he'd walk 5-6 guys in a row or whatever. Or the conditions weren't right and, he'd let it really impact him. But he has really become an excellent pitcher over the last couple of months. And that's what you want to see from a rookie. You want to see the improvements in real time. We got to see him throw the slider more over the last several weeks. And now we're seeing him develop more as a pitcher, pitching out of jams and working around, less than ideal command. So it's great in real time to see these, various things developing with his game. In the past month, he has picked it back up and saved his season and probably saved his Rookie of the Year campaign. On the season, he has now made 22 starts. He is 12-5 with a 3.06 ERA, 117 2/3 innings pitched, 138 strikeouts. The whip actually went up a tick today. It began at 1.10 up to 1.11. But you're not gonna hold that against him. He's got a real chance at the Rookie of the Year if he keeps pitching the way he is. Topped out at 98.7 miles an hour twice today, 10 swings and misses, and a season-high 106 pitches, despite just throwing 5 innings. So he averaged more than 21 pitches per inning, but he was able to keep the Angels off the board. So great job by Luis Gil. I'm not going to say great job, but nice job to control the damage despite walking 5 guys. So, as I like to say, he is the real deal. Talk a little bit about Clarke Schmidt. He has begun throwing to hitters, and he said that he feels awesome. They showed an interview with him during the game. I love Clarke Schmidt's energy. He just seems like a really lighthearted, fun kind of guy, and I'm really rooting for him. You know, obviously an early draft pick for the Yankees and struggled a little bit when he first came up, but he has really come into his own as a starting pitcher. And I think if he had stayed healthy, we'd be talking about him having a monster season, because he was really starting to get past that sort of 5-inning limit that he had where he couldn't really work through the lineup a third time. He was starting to push by that when he had the oblique injury. But call me crazy. Call me crazy, call me nuts. Lock me up in an insane asylum. And feel free to save this clip. But I predict he is going to be a major, major contributor to the Yankees if they do anything in the playoffs. Here's why. He's going to be fresh. He's going to be entering mid-season form. A lot of times it comes down to who's hot at the right time. And he's basically going to have about 4 or 5 starts in the major leagues to get back into shape, to get back into mid-season form. And that should be just about the right amount of time to get, fully back to what he was before he got hurt. And as a reminder, he was peaking when he got injured. In his final 4 starts before the injured list, he had a 1.09 ERA. 1.09. Hitters were hitting just 174 against him. If you watch the Diamondbacks run last year, you know that Brandon Pfaadt he played a big role in getting the Diamondbacks to the World Series because he was able to take the ball and give them 5 decent innings every single time. Just reliable. Clarke Schmidt, that's his modus operandi. In 7 of his final 11 starts before going on the IL, he went at least 5 innings and allowed 2 runs or less. So he's just a really solid, really reliable starting pitcher. He's not going to give you 7 innings and 15 strikeouts most of the time. Nobody does that. But he's not going to be that dominating, long, deep into the game most of the time guy. But he'll get you through 5. And he'll keep you in the game. And in the playoffs, that's a huge, huge part of winning. We saw openers being used in the World Series last year. We saw pitching really challenged, the depth that teams had in the playoffs. And Clarke Schmidt coming back and peaking at the right time is going to be huge. That's my prediction. Watch for Clarke Schmidt in the playoffs to be a major, major contributor. Let's talk a little bit about rule changes. We saw Aaron Judge get walked once today intentionally in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays may have kind of angered the baseball gods by not pitching to Judge this weekend. And it's gotten to the point where people are starting to call for rule changes. I've seen this a few spots, and we got a couple of voicemails about it.
Hey, Derek. I just wanted to comment on that Aaron Judge being intentionally passed 4 times in the last 2 games. And I think maybe it's time for a rule change in Major League Baseball. Let's say you can only intentionally walk a batter 1 time per game. Might make a difference, because that was a rip-off, and it was a stupid thing to do by John Snyder. I hope they finish in the basement for the next 10 years. Talk to you later.
In the basement. So here's the deal. I once considered myself a baseball purist. I didn't want to have interleague play, but over the years I've grown to like the Subway Series. I think the pitch clock has been a nice addition. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the expanded playoffs, although I think it does seem to ice down the divisional winners if they have 5 days off. I like the shift changes that they made. Point is, I'm open to change. And baseball, at the end of the day, is an entertainment business. People pay to get into the game and watch Aaron Judge hit. They take their kids to go see Aaron Judge hit. He's one of the true stars of the game. And I think a rule where you can only walk intentionally 1 hitter, or let's say it this way. If a team could walk intentionally any hitter no more than once per game, I think that would be a great rule change, right? So you got to strategically pick when you pitch to Aaron Judge. If he comes up in the 4th inning with runners on first and second, and one out, maybe you walk him to load the bases and go for the double play there. Take your chances with Austin Wells. But then you can't do that again in the 8th inning when he comes up in a big spot. So I think it makes sense to limit the amount that you can intentionally walk somebody, especially when you don't even throw the pitches anymore, right? If it's just go to first base, that's boring. There's nothing entertainment about that. One intentional walk per batter, per team would be a great addition. But I don't think anything is going to go in until the next CBA, which wouldn't affect the league until 2027 anyway. But yeah, it's a shame that Aaron Judge is getting walked so much. But he's going to put up humongous on-base percentage numbers this year and humongous OPS numbers. He's already at 1.160. So it won't be implemented anytime soon. Next CBA is a couple of years away. But anyway, not a good idea to just free pass every single time. That's weak. All right, chat's filling up. Let's talk about the game.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
So as I mentioned, Verdugo led off the game with an opposite field double. He came around to score on a very nice piece of hitting by Austin Wells, whose mustache continues to migrate further and further down his face. He is getting into Mattingly and Munson territory, for sure. He had some really good swings today. I'm loving the way that he is evolving as a hitter. Very patient, very compact swing, good power, just enough of an uppercut to where if he catches it out front, it's going to go a long way. And he's going to continue to get more and more dangerous as he gets more and more comfortable against big league pitching. So, nice job by Austin Wells today. Yankees tacked on another run on a double by Volpe into the left field corner. He continues to swing the bat very well since the All-Star break. Bottom 2, Oswaldo Cabrera, the Wizard. About 5 rows deep into the right field porch. 7th home run of the season for Oswaldo, whose OPS continues to creep back up towards respectability. Yankees got their 4th run on an RBI double by Verdugo in the bottom of the 5th. His 50th RBI of the season. He had 2 doubles on the game, 26 doubles on the season. Nice job by Verdugo today. Going to be an interesting belt competition here today between basically Oswaldo Cabrera or Alex Verdugo, maybe a little bit of Luis Gil mixed in. I don't know. What do you guys think? Well, we'll figure it out in just a second. Judge single to make it 5-0. He is pretty good at baseball. Gil was done after 5 innings. Final line: 2 hits, no runs, 5 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Too many walks, but I'm going to cut him some slack because of the rain. But a nice job by Luis Gil. Angels got a couple of runs back on a home run by Neto in the 7th. Nice job by Luke Weaver, dominating outing from Cardiac Clay. And as I mentioned, the Yankees expand their lead in the East to a game, and they have a chance to expand it even more tonight if the Orioles lose and if the Yankees can win in Game 2, if they even manage to play Game 2. Ball game over.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
All right, so, we had some good days today. We had Verdugo, couple of hits, couple of doubles, couple of runs. We had Judgy with a couple of hits, Wells, couple of hits. We had the lockdown save from Holmes, the lockdown inning from Weaver. But you know what? Oswaldo left the yard. We're giving it to him. All right. Yankee Basher 21 says, can Gil still get a vote for the Cy Young? 12-5 is not that bad. I don't think he's going to win the Cy Young. I think Tariq Skubal's going to win the Cy Young. Last I checked, he had about a 2.5 ERA, so I don't expect that. But Rookie of the Year ain't bad. It's not a bad consolation prize. And, Luis Gil could have a Cy Young in his future. We saw what he did the first half of the season. He was lights out. He was untouchable. And now that he has that slider, in his bag, and he's becoming a more seasoned pitcher, not just a thrower, a pitcher, then, the sky's the limit. He's got Garrett Cole there to tutor him and help him out. Matt Blake is regarded as one of the best pitching coaches in the business. And the Yankees have some of the best technology in the business. You know that. Behind the scenes, they're able to look at everything. So I'm confident that they're going to get the most out of Luis Gil. And I'm loving the energy he brings. I'm loving the fastball sitting at 97, 98 miles an hour. Slider has been wicked. Was not as great today because of the rain, but I'm not going to hold that against him. So Luis Gil, very, very strong outing and very, very strong season. Let's see here. David Smith says, Yankees back to the best record in baseball. Is that true? Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings. Actually, I haven't looked at the standings today. So 68-46, 596 win percentage. Guardians are at 588. The Astros at 518. The Phillies at 593. So 67-46. So they are creeping up, but Yankees still have the edge. Brewers at 563 and Dodgers at 579. So indeed, that is the best record in baseball. All right. All right. So let's take a few more comments, a few more questions, a few more rants, whatever you guys want. Scotto says, oh no, the Astros are coming on. And Framber Valdez last night almost threw another no-hitter. Look, if you thought the Astros were going to go quietly into the night, as they say in Independence Day, I got news for you. That's not going to happen. They know how to win, and they know that this is a long season, and they're not going to panic. And they're right in this thing. And I still think that the World Series goes through Houston. It's going to have to. You're going to have to beat them at some point. Yanks Prods says, you guys think Verdugo is going to stay hot? We'll see. He's using the left side of the field again. I feel like when he's at his best, he's hitting those booming doubles to left field. He kind of got used to that swing in Boston, taking the ball off the monster, but he'll also rip one down the line. I think he's doing a nice job over the last several days. So I don't know if he's back, but he's serviceable right now. I mean, he had a period there this season where he was playing great, and he was getting big hit after big hit. He hasn't been that guy really since he ran into the wall against the Orioles. Remember that? I feel like he banged himself up a little bit, but if he's going to get to 85% of what he was at earlier this year offensively, that'll help the Yankees enormously. So, Nathaniel Isaac says the Astros aren't good. They're only a couple of games over 500. But if you look at where they started awful, partially thanks to the Yankees, who took 4 in a row from them to open the season. But they've crawled their way back from way, way down in that division. See the Athletics settling back in at 48 and 68. They've kind of hit the skids a little bit, pulling up the rear. But anyway, Lando Thompson says Waldo has got to get more starts. If he keeps hitting home runs. I mean, it seems like every time we put him in there, he gets a 2-hit game or a home run, but somehow you look up and his OPS is like 649 or whatever it is. Let me pull up his OPS real quick, and I'll tell you what it is. Because it seems to me like every time we talk about him, it's because he just got 2 hits or just hit a big home run. Only 7 home runs this year. His OPS is 646. I mean, it's respectable. He's hitting 240. It's not as bad as he was last year. But, I mean, he's not blowing the doors down. But, I mean, I'm all in favor of giving him more at-bats because, he just seems like he brings the team up a little bit when he's in there. So, all right, let's take a few more comments. Let's wrap up. Got another game starting here shortly. Guys, I've got a major announcement coming in the near future. Frankie knows about it. He can confirm in the chat that it is huge. But you guys are going to love it. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Shooting to make that announcement next Monday. Hopefully, there's some paperwork and stuff that has to be done. But stay tuned because we got some fun, big news coming soon. So Orioles, unfortunately, up 2-0 in the first inning. They're not going away, guys. We're going to be following the Orioles scoreboard watching for the next 45 games or so. And it probably is going to come down to that series in, I want to say like September 23rd, 24th, 25th, something like that, in New York. And that's going to be the biggest series of the year. You're not going to be able to find a seat. So tune in. We'll be here after every single game. Last year was interesting because the Yankees were kind of out of it early, so I was able to get up to Yankee Stadium and take in a game. But and Judge hit 3 home runs in that game, by the way. But this year, because it's so tight, I just want to be here to podcast after every game. So, we'll be here after tonight's game, and I will see you when it's over. If it's over, if they do play, we'll see. I'll see you next time.